Sit down! You struck a passenger!
You caused this!
Everyone stay seated!
We saw it!
Stay out of this. Return my phone.
She's a problem passenger. State your full name.
Don't threaten me.
I asked a question.
Ma'am, lower your voice. My voice is lower than yours.
She never shouted.
Nobody asked you.
What is the aircraft number?
You don't need it.
I asked the purser. Why do you want it?
Because the defect was ignored.
You touched company to the aisle. It rolled into the aisle.
She stopped it.
Enough. One call.
Then security takes you. Unlock it. Red Horizon, confirm Air Carrot 731.
State the scope.
What did you just say? Identity phrase?
The schedule never outranks the soul aboard.
Confirmed.
And the call.
Preserve every crew's defect report.
You cannot order that. You cannot order that. Look at the screens.
What? Those flights are turning gray. Atlanta, too.
Global departure hold?
That's impossible.
Return my notebook.
Who authorized this?
Read the alert.
Did this over one argument?
Who are you?
That code belongs to the owner.
The owner? She can't be.
Seal the latch.
First, preserve the evidence.
Independent inspectors are at the gate.
More than
The slap cracked through first class just as the cabin lights dimmed. A flight attendant stood over the black woman she had called a problem passenger, while 20 people stared at their trays and said nothing. Why did the woman refuse to shout back? Why did she calmly ask for the aircraft number instead? And why, after one quiet phone call, did departure boards across 3 continents begin flashing "canceled"? The crew thought they had humiliated a traveler with no power. They had no idea what she owned, or what the broken galley latch in her hand was about to expose. Stay until the final call, because the slap was only the first secret to fall. The phone was still warm from Gavin Reed's hand when he placed it on the galley counter. "One call," he said. "Then you wait for security." Lena did not reach for it. The loose cart clicked behind Brooke Vale. Click. Pause. Click. "What is this aircraft's tail number?" Lena asked. Brooke folded her arms. "You don't need that." Captain Marsh's voice came through the interphone. "Gavin, resolve it. Descent in 11 minutes. Gavin covered the receiver. "And 731 AS. Call whoever you're calling." Lena picked up the phone. Her cheek burned, but her voice stayed level. "Helen, Red Horizon. Confirm aircraft 731 and hold every unlaunched departure under the same certificate." Gavin frowned. "What does that mean?" "Preserve crew schedules, deferred maintenance records, and cabin reports from the last 90 days. Do not alert operations leadership until the hold is active." A woman answered faintly. "Identity phrase?" Lena looked at the broken latch in her palm. Its edge had left a gray line across her skin. "The schedule never outranks the soul aboard." 2 seconds passed. "Confirmed," the woman said. "Stay where you are." Brooke laughed once. "You rehearsed that?" Lena ended the call. "Return my notebook." "It's evidence," Gavin said. "Then seal it in front of witnesses." Jonah Price lowered his camera when Gavin turned, but Lena saw the red recording light in the window. A woman watched a spoon tremble against her saucer and whispered, "Someone should say something." No one did. The landing lights brightened. Brooke bent to secure the cart, but the latch sprang open. A sleeve of cups slid forward. Lena caught it. "Don't touch that," Brooke snapped. Lena released it. "Then document it." Brooke pressed her thumb over the broken catch. Gavin leaned close. "When we land, you'll tell security you entered a restricted area and became confrontational. I'll tell them what happened. You have no witnesses." A seatbelt chime sounded. Jonah raised his hand. "She has one." "Stop recording." Jonah set the phone on his tray, lens facing the aisle. "I'm preserving what I observed." The aircraft dipped through cloud. Rain streaked across the windows. The galley smelled of spilled coffee and hot plastic. Ellie Morgan stood behind the curtain, gripping a service tablet to her chest. Lena saw the label. Cabin Defect Log. "Ellie," Brooke said, "return to your station." The younger attendant did not move. "Did you report the latch before departure?" Lena asked. Ellie looked at Gavin. I entered it at 6:42 p.m. Brooke's thumb slipped. The latch clicked open again. Gavin crossed the galley and took the tablet. The report was incomplete. It had a photograph, Ellie said. Sit down. He tapped the screen, shielding it with his shoulder, then handed it back. Ellie stared at the display. Her fingers tightened until the case creaked. Outside, runway lights appeared through the rain. Lena's phone vibrated again and again. Gavin glanced at it. Who keeps calling you? Lena did not answer. On the nearest seatback screen, the connection map refreshed. One green departure icon turned gray. Then another. Then 10 more. Beside Ellie's thumb, the tablet displayed 2 words in red. Report deleted. 12 hours earlier, Lena Hart stood barefoot in her Atlanta kitchen while rain tapped the glass above the sink. Her phone showed 6:03 a.m. and 3 messages from Nia. Don't miss the keynote. I saved you a seat. Mom, please don't make me explain you again. Lena read the last line twice. On the table lay an executive folder stamped Board Review and a boarding pass under the name Lena Carter. Her chief of staff, Miriam Cole, appeared on the tablet. The car can take you through the private entrance. No, you'll be recognized. Not in this. Lena showed her the charcoal pantsuit, cream trench coat, and leather bag. No assistant, no company pin, only a gold aviator pendant at her throat. Miriam exhaled. The board expects you in London tomorrow. The board expects numbers. I need to see people. You have 1,200 surveys. Surveys know when they're being watched. A chime sounded. Nia had sent a photograph of the conference hall. One empty chair in the front row, a folded program resting on it. Miriam noticed. Call her. I will from the airport. You said that last month. Lena closed the folder. Send Helen the sealed audit packet. Nobody in operations sees my passenger name. Victor will ask where you are. Tell him I'm reviewing route performance. When the call ended, Lena opened a cabinet and removed an old pilot logbook in cotton. Its cover was cracked, and the pages smelled of dust and machine oil. Marcus Hart, First Officer. October 1989. A faded photograph slipped free. Her father beside a training aircraft. On the back he had written, For Lena, who asks why until the answer gets honest. She placed Nia's keynote ticket between 2 yellowed pages. The kettle gave a metallic tick. Not this time, Lena told the empty room. At 6:41, she called Nia. The line went to voicemail. Hey, baby, I'm coming. I'll be in the front row. Lena stopped. And I brought Grandpa's logbook. I think it belongs with you now. She ended the message before adding another promise. Downstairs, the lobby smelled of wet wool and floor polish. The doorman reached for her bag. I've got it, Samuel. You traveling light, Ms. Hart? Trying to. Outside, a company sedan waited. Lena passed it for a ride share. Miriam's driver lowered his window. Ma'am? Take the folder to the office. He glanced at her coat, darkening at the shoulders. In this rain? She opened the other car herself. Especially in this rain. During the drive, Atlanta blurred behind silver water. Lena reviewed anonymous complaints, missed breaks, altered duty records, cabin defects closed without photographs. One phrase appeared 7 times. Resolved locally. At the airport, she folded the printout into the logbook. A message appeared from Victor Holden. Punctuality at 91.8%. Best quarter in 5 years. We did it. Through the glass, Lena watched a worker run beside a loose baggage container while no supervisor looked up. She typed, "Let's discuss after London," then deleted it. Instead, she sent Nia one line. "Front row, I promise." The reply came near security. Promises are easy at 7 a.m. Lena stopped beneath the departure board, the logbook against her ribs. Flight 214 to London changed from on time to delayed. The word delayed blinked once, then settled in amber. At gate C47, the line curled past a closed coffee kiosk. Wheels knocked against tile, and cold air pushed beneath Lena's damp coat. "London passengers, remain near the gate," Thomas Kell announced. His tie sat crooked. "We're waiting on final cabin clearance." A man near the front called, "How final?" "As soon as I have a confirmed time, you'll have it." "You said that 20 minutes ago." "And I was 20 minutes younger then," Thomas muttered. Behind the counter, a young flight attendant with a copper braid dropped a stack of vouchers and struck her shoulder on a drawer. "You okay?" Lena asked. "I'm fine." She rose with a wince. Her badge read, "Ellie Morgan. Just graceful before sunrise." The paper cup in her hand trembled when she reached for the vouchers. The crew door opened. Brooke Vale entered, pulling a navy roller bag. Lipstick perfect, skin gray beneath her eyes. Gavin Reed followed, checking his watch. Brooke stopped beside Thomas. "Tell me the hotel room is still mine." "Operations reassigned you." "To London? I landed from Seattle at 1:30. Gavin lowered his voice. "Not here. I've had 4 hours." "You had legal rest?" "I had a bus ride and 40 minutes in a room where the air unit sounded like a mower." "Brooke?" Gavin's smile stayed fixed. "We board. We serve. We land. No written fatigue report unless you want scheduling to flag your file again." Ellie stared at the vouchers. Coffee stained Brooke's thumb. "If I make a mistake?" "Then don't." The departure board clicked overhead. Lena stepped closer. "Excuse me, is the delay related to crew rest or a cabin defect?" Brooke turned. "Why would you ask that?" "The announcement said cabin clearance. That isn't passenger information. I'm asking whether the delay affects safety." Gavin moved to Brooke's shoulder. "Ma'am, we are following procedure." "Which procedure?" "The one that gets everyone to London." A traveler behind Lena sighed. "Can she just take the voucher and move?" "I didn't ask for one," Lena said. Brooke wiped her thumb. "Some passengers hear delay and decide the airport owes them an explanation." "I heard an exhausted crew member ask for rest." Brooke's mouth tightened. "You were listening to a private conversation." "You held it beside a public line." Thomas leaned in. "Ms. Carter, I can note your concern." "Please do." Brooke looked sharply at him. "No incident notes before departure." "It isn't an incident," Lena said. "Then stop making it one." For a moment, only the printer clicked. Ellie's cup tapped the counter in small, hollow beats. Gavin faced Thomas. "Begin pre-boarding. We still don't have the maintenance release." Gavin smiled toward the crowd. "Announce a paperwork delay." Brooke lifted her bag and brushed past Lena. "People who travel once a year always think they know how an airline works." Lena opened her leather notebook. "What are you writing?" Brooke asked. "The time." "Why?" "Because everyone else seems determined to lose it." At 7:18 a.m., the gate doors opened without a maintenance announcement. Ellie followed the crew down the jet bridge, carrying a cup she had never managed to drink. The jet bridge shuddered beneath the rush of passengers. Lena stepped into the aircraft at 7:26 a.m. Warm air carried coffee and hot plastic. Brooke stood at the door with a smile that vanished when she saw her. "Seat 2A," Lena said, offering her pass. "I can read." Ellie checked the forward galley. A metal click sounded. She pressed the latch again. Click. The door sprang open half an inch. "Brooke," Ellie whispered, "this is the cart bay from my report. Use the secondary strap." "There isn't one." "Then use the service belt." "That isn't approved." Gavin appeared with menus. "What's holding boarding?" Ellie touched the catch. "This won't lock." He tested it. The latch closed, then opened when the bridge vibrated. "Tag it after London." "We already tagged it." "No, you started a report." Lena paused beside them. "May I see the equipment number?" Brooke kept smiling at the passengers behind her. "Please take your seat." If it was reported, the number should be recorded. "You're blocking the aisle." Lena stepped aside as wet coats brushed her sleeve. Ellie lowered her voice. "Unit G-14. "Ellie," Brooke warned. Lena wrote the number in her father's logbook. Gavin noticed the cracked cover. "Are you conducting an inspection?" "I'm making a note. Passengers don't inspect aircraft." "Then someone assigned to do it should." Brooke stepped between her and the galley. "Seat, now." Lena closed the book and walked to 2A. Before she could lift her bag, Brooke took it. "I'll stow this farther back." "There's space above me." "Crew equipment." The compartment was empty except for 2 blankets. "My medication and charger are inside." "You can ask after takeoff." Brooke carried the bag 3 rows back and shut it in a bin near the curtain. Across the aisle, Jonah Price watched over his glasses. "That seemed unnecessary," he said. Brooke faced him. "Would you like your bag moved too?" "No." "Then enjoy your seat." Lena sat and flattened the logbook on her knees. Rain crawled across the window. Below, a tug vehicle whined. At 7:41, Thomas Kell entered, breathing hard. "I need the maintenance release signed." Gavin met him at the door. "It's cleared." "Not in the system." "Operations approved local resolution." Thomas glanced toward the galley. "For the latch?" Brooke pulled the curtain halfway closed. Lena heard Gavin say, "Don't create another delay over a cart door." Thomas rubbed his tie. "If it opens during movement, it won't." Click. Everyone near the front heard it. Ellie stared at the latch. Thomas stared at Gavin. Brooke forced the catch down with both thumbs. Now it won't. The cabin lights dimmed. Lena studied the torn adhesive where a warning seal had been removed. "What happened to the sticker?" she asked. Brooke's head turned. "What sticker?" "The one that left that clean rectangle." Gavin drew the curtain shut. "Ms. Carter, further interference will be documented." "Good," Lena said. "Document my question too." The aircraft began to roll. Vibration moved through the floor and up the seat frame. Lena wrote beneath G-14. "Warning seal removed before pushback." Behind the curtain, Brooke braced the cart with her shoe. Then the latch clicked open again. The cart door opened 3 inches as the aircraft turned toward the runway. Ellie caught it with her hip. Cups rattled behind the panel. "I told you," she said. Brooke shoved the latch down. "Use the belt." "The belt is for service." "Then make it work." Lena pressed the call button. Brooke arrived without looking at her. "What now?" "My bag. I need my medication before takeoff." "You can have it after the seatbelt sign goes off." "I told you before you moved it." Brooke bent closer. Peppermint covered stale coffee on her breath. "You've questioned the gate agent, crew rest, the maintenance release, and the galley. Sit quietly for 10 minutes. Across the aisle, Jonah lifted his eyes from his phone. Lena said, "Bring the bag, please." "No." The engines deepened. Cold air spilled from the vent above Lena, lifting her boarding pass. Brooke turned away before the call light stopped glowing. Jonah waited until she reached the curtain. "Do you need the medication now?" I need access to what belongs to me. I can get the bag. Don't give them another passenger to blame." He studied her, then placed his phone face up on his tray. After takeoff, the city lights sank beneath cloud. The cabin leveled and filled with the soft clink of glassware. Brooke offered water to 1A, 1B, and 2C. At Lena's row, she locked the cart and walked past. Lena pressed the call button again. Gavin appeared. "Ms. Carter, Brooke says you're repeatedly interrupting service. I've asked for my bag and a glass of water. Your conduct at the gate caused concern." "My question caused concern?" "You were documenting the crew." "I wrote an equipment number." "Were you filming?" "No." Brooke returned. I saw her holding something toward the galley. "My notebook." "Show him." Lena rested one hand on the cracked leather cover. "You don't search private writing because a staff member dislikes a question." Gavin's jaw tightened. "Then stop making notes about us." Jonah spoke quietly. "The man in 1B photographed the wine list. Nobody asked to inspect his phone." Brooke glanced toward 1B. "That is not the same." "Why not?" Jonah asked. A spoon struck porcelain behind them. No one else joined him. Gavin adjusted his cuff. "Sir, this does not involve you." "It began in front of me." Brooke pointed to Jonah's phone. "Are you recording?" "No," he said, sliding it closer to the window. The red indicator reflected faintly in the dark glass. Gavin unlocked the bin 3 rows back and removed Lena's bag. For 1 second, she thought he would hand it over. Instead, he took out the medication pouch and set it on her tray. "The bag stays there. My charger is inside. You won't need it during meal service." Lena opened the pouch, swallowed 1 tablet dry, and turned the empty cup so its handle faced the aisle. "Water," she said. Brooke carried the cup to the galley and left it beside the sink. Jonah watched her return empty-handed. "You served everyone else. She can wait." The aircraft trembled in rough air. From behind the curtain came the familiar metallic click, followed by the slow roll of something heavy across the galley floor. Brooke's face changed first. The cart burst through the curtain before Brooke could reach it. Glass bottles knocked together. A drawer opened, scattering cutlery across the aisle. Lena unfastened her belt, braced on a seatback, and caught the cart before row 3. "Sit down," Brooke shouted. "Lock the wheels." "I said sit down." The aircraft dipped. Lena's shoes slid, but she held the rail until Ellie rushed forward and pressed both brakes. "It wasn't secured," Ellie said. Brooke seized the handle. "You released it." "I was in my seat." "You've been obsessed with that cart." "Because it does not stay closed." The cabin smelled of coffee, citrus cleaner, and hot plastic. Several passengers watched, but no one rose from a seat. Jonah raised his phone. "I recorded that." Gavin pushed through the curtain. "Put it away." "No." "What happened?" he asked Brooke. She entered the galley and interfered with equipment. Ellie stared at her. "That isn't what happened." "Check the rear cabin." The cart rolled out by itself. "Now, Ellie." Lena picked up the broken latch plate beneath a seat. One screw was missing. The other hung from cracked plastic. "This failed," she said. Brooke reached for it. Lena closed her hand. "That belongs to the aircraft." "Then record where it was found." Gavin lowered his voice. "Ms. Carter, hand it over and sit down. After you photograph it." "You do not set procedure." "No, but your procedure did not stop 40 pounds of metal from entering the aisle." The woman beside him stared at her dessert. Brooke stepped closer. "You kept provoking us until something happened." Lena's voice remained quiet. "What is your full name?" "Excuse me?" your full name and employee number. You're threatening my job. I'm asking who made these decisions. Gavin reached for the latch. Lena moved it behind the notebook against her chest. Return company property, he said. Seal it with Ellie's report. Brooke faced the rows. Does anyone believe she hasn't been disruptive? No one answered. Jonah said, She prevented that cart from hitting us. Brooke flushed. You've been filming without consent. I'm documenting what happened. This is a private aircraft. Lena met her eyes. No cabin becomes private when authority is misused. A spoon rang against its saucer as turbulence returned. Brooke reached for the notebook. Lena turned her shoulder. Give me that. No. Brooke struck her. The sound cut through the cabin. Even the spoon stopped. Lena did not raise a hand. She stood with the latch pressed into her palm, a gray line beneath its edge. Jonah's phone remained pointed toward the aisle. Gavin swallowed. Brooke. She stared at Lena, waiting for anger that did not come. Lena drew one breath. Now tell me your full name. The captain's voice sounded overhead. Cabin crew, prepare for descent. Gavin took the interphone. Captain, we have an aggressive passenger in first class. Request security at arrival. Ellie whispered. That's not true. Gavin covered the receiver. Go to your station. Lena looked through the dark window where runway lights formed beneath the clouds. Before you make that report, she said, return my phone. The aircraft shuddered as the landing gear locked into place. Gavin kept one hand over the interphone. Your phone will be returned after security boards. You took it before making your statement, Lena said. That matters. She grabbed equipment, ignored instructions, and threatened us, Brooke said. I asked your name. You asked it like a warning. Jonah held up his phone. The recording has the whole sequence. Turn that off, Gavin said. No. A chime sounded. The cabin tilted toward the runway, and loose cutlery scraped beneath the curtain. 10 minutes to landing, Captain Marsh announced. Ellie looked at the broken cart, then at the galley tablet. I need to file the defect. Gavin blocked her. You filed an incomplete note. It had the unit number and a photograph. It did not establish a safety risk. The cart crossed the aisle. Because a passenger touched it. Ellie reached for the tablet. Gavin took it first. Go to your jump seat. Let me finish. That is an order. The screen flashed under his thumb. Report deleted. Ellie stared at the red letters. You erased it. I corrected the record. Lena watched her fingers miss the buckle twice before she fastened herself into the folding seat. Gavin returned to the interphone. Confirmed disruptive passenger in 2A. Possible interference with crew duties. Lena said, Ask the captain to preserve the cockpit audio. His eyes shifted toward her. Brooke folded Lena's notebook shut. You don't direct the captain. No, I'm making sure your words survive the landing. The wheels struck wet pavement. The cabin jolted, brakes humming beneath the floor. A traveler reached for his briefcase, then stopped when Jonah said, Leave everything where it is. The video is still running. Brooke snapped, You are not law enforcement. I'm a witness. Rain hissed across the windows. At the gate, no one stood when the seatbelt sign went dark. Gavin positioned himself beside Lena's row. Remain seated. My bag. Security will retrieve it. My phone. Also with security. You are holding both. Brooke's breathing shortened. Why are you so calm? Lena looked at the notebook. Because calm is not consent. The forward door opened. Cold air entered first, carrying rain and jet fuel. 2 airport security officers appeared with Thomas Kell behind them. Gavin lifted his chin. That's her. Thomas looked from Lena to the loose cart. What happened to the latch? Passenger interference, Brooke said. Jonah stood. That is false. One officer raised a palm. Everyone stay where you are. Lena remained seated. Before you remove me, ask for the defect report entered at 6:42 p.m. Gavin said. There was no completed report. Ellie spoke from the jump seat. There was. Brooke turned. Ellie. Ellie raised her phone. I photographed the tablet before boarding because reports kept disappearing. Gavin's face hardened. You violated policy. I thought I was protecting myself. Thomas stepped closer. Show me. Ellie's thumb hovered over the screen. Then every company phone in the cabin vibrated at once. Gavin checked his. His expression emptied. Across the alert were 4 words. Global departure hold. Immediate. At 8:17 p.m. London time, the departure hold alert still glowed on every company phone. Who authorized this? Gavin asked. Thomas Kell shook his head. Operations says the order came from the safety committee. Brooke looked at Lena. What did you do? Lena held out her hand. My phone. Airport officer Dana Ruiz sealed it inside a clear sleeve. Not until we finish the initial account. It contains no evidence you need. Your crew says otherwise. Jonah stepped into the aisle. Her phone was taken before landing. Mine has the recording. Then you may wait too. Passengers were released in small groups. Wheels thumped across the jet bridge, and almost no one met Lena's eyes. The woman with the trembling spoon paused. I saw it, she whispered. Will you say that to them? The woman tightened her scarf. I have a connection. Then she left. Security moved Lena to the rear cabin while the crew gave separate statements. Cold air hissed above 31 degrees Celsius. Her bag remained locked 3 rows away. May I get my charger? After statements. My daughter is speaking tonight. I'm sorry. That is not the same as letting me call. Across the aisle, Ellie held her phone. I can message her. Tell her I'm delayed. Nothing more. What's her name? Naya. Ellie typed, then shook her head. No answer. Behind the curtain, Gavin's voice came in pieces. Uncooperative. Entered the galley. Crew safety. Jonah gave a dry laugh. He's building the sentence he wants everyone to repeat. Lena watched rain smear the window. Then remember the sentence before it. At 8:29, Donna returned the evidence sleeve. 2 minutes. Lena tore it open. Missed calls crowded the screen beside one notification. Keynote ended. Her thumb stopped over Nia's name. Call her, Ellie said. The call went to voicemail. A new message appeared. Nia's voice came through low and even. I kept the seat until the moderator walked me on stage. I told myself there was a delay, then an emergency, then something only you could fix. A breath caught. I knew the planes would matter more again. The message ended. The fluorescent light flickered. Lena lowered the phone until the black screen reflected her face. Dana reached for it. Time. 10 seconds. I said 2 minutes. Lena opened Helen Ward's contact. One sentence could reveal who she was and summon the executives who ignored the reports. It could also confirm Naya's oldest accusation. Her mother always chose the company crisis. She locked the screen. Jonah leaned forward. You're not calling? Not yet. Brooke emerged without her badge. They want written statements. At the front, investigators carried numbered evidence bags through the galley. Maybe the system should investigate itself, Lena said. You don't believe that, Jonah replied. When Dana released the bag, Lena opened her father's logbook. Nia's keynote ticket slipped out and landed face up on the carpet. Ellie bent for it, but Lena reached it first. Inside the back cover, beneath Marcus Hart's faded signature, a line remained in blue ink. Silence does not correct an error. It teaches the error to become a rule. The loose cart clicked behind the curtain. Lena unlocked her phone and pressed Helen's name. Helen answered on the first ring. "Lena? Stay on the line. Do not act yet." Rain ticked against the window. Jonah lifted his head. "I need evidence preserved before anyone knows who called you," Lena said. A crew report was deleted and a cabin defect ignored. "Give me the tail number." "Not yet." At the forward galley, Gavin pointed toward Lena while speaking to Dana Ruiz. Brooke stood beside him, pale beneath the fluorescent lights. Ellie slipped into the empty seat opposite Lena. "I took this before boarding." Her phone showed the service tablet at 6:42 p.m. Unit G-14. Latch failure. Photo attached. Below it. Hold for local review. "Send it to me. If they inspect my phone, I'm finished. If this is the only copy, they can erase it." Ellie's thumb hovered, then pressed share. The image reached Lena with a soft chime. Helen heard it. "What was that?" "Proof." Jonah leaned across the aisle. "I have more." His video shook, but the sound was clear. The cart rolling, Lena warning them, Brooke's accusation, the slap, and Gavin calling her aggressive before asking a witness what happened. "I need the original file," Lena said. "Where?" She gave him Helen's secure number. Jonah glanced at her. "Who is Helen?" "Someone who can keep a file from disappearing." The upload bar crept forward. Cold air carried the smell of wet coats from the jet bridge. At 98%, Gavin approached. "What are you transferring?" "My property," Jonah said. "You were instructed not to record crew." After the incident, Gavin faced Lena. "Security is ready to escort you." "Then wait until the file finishes." "You are not controlling this process." The bar reached 100. Helen's voice came through the speaker. "Received." Gavin stopped. "Preserve the files only," Lena told Helen. "No operational hold yet." Donna returned with a form. "Ms. Carter, sign for your belongings." Lena read it. "This says I interfered with safety equipment." "It is the crew's account." "It is not a receipt." Dana crossed out the sentence and returned the paper. Before Lena signed, Nia called. Her daughter appeared under conference hall lights. "Where are you?" "Still on the aircraft." "You missed everything." "I know." Nia noticed Ellie's photograph on the screen. "Zoom in." "This is not the time." "Mom, please." Lena enlarged the unit label. Nia moved closer to her camera. G-14 was in the restricted audit appendix. "What appendix?" "The one I cited tonight. 12 galley latch failures across 6 aircraft. The internal summary said everyone was resolved locally." Lena's fingers tightened around the phone. "Who closed them?" Nia looked off screen. Paper rustled. "Operations control. Same authorization string on all 12. "What string?" "VH-27. Across the cabin, Gavin was telling Donna that no defect report had ever existed. Lena looked at Ellie's photograph, Jonah's video, and her daughter's face on 3 adjacent screens. "Nia, send the appendix to Helen." Her daughter's voice softened. "Are you finally going to tell them who you are?" Lena watched Brooke press both hands flat against the galley counter to stop them shaking. "Not until they finish lying. Helen, activate Red Horizon." Only Jonah and Ellie heard the words. Helen did not ask why. "Scope?" "Every Altura departure not yet airborne. 214 flights. Hold them at the gate. Preserve crew duty records, deferred defects, and every deletion linked to VH-27. Across the cabin, Gavin stopped speaking to Donna Ruiz. Brooke turned from the galley. What did she say? Do not alert Victor Holden until the hold is visible in every region, Lena said. Helen's keyboard clicked. Identity phrase. Lena opened her father's logbook. The schedule never outranks the soul aboard. A pause. Confirmed. Red Horizon is live. The first alert reached Thomas Kell's phone, then Gavin's, then Ellie's. A low vibration passed through the cabin. Global departure hold. Immediate. Thomas read it twice. This is worldwide. Gavin stared at Lena. Who are you? A passenger whose report you tried to erase. That code is restricted. So are safety records. Dana stepped between them. Nobody moves until I understand what happened. Then start with the original video, Jonah said. Rain drummed on the fuselage. Cold air carried wet concrete through the open door. Brooke backed into the counter. The loose latch clicked behind her. This is because of me? Lena looked at the broken plate, sealed in plastic. This is because someone decided the defect was cheaper than the delay. Helen returned. London, Atlanta, Frankfurt, Nairobi, and Singapore have acknowledged. 3 stations want authority confirmation. Send my board credential only to local safety leads. Gavin gave a hollow laugh. Board credential? Ellie whispered. She said my report existed. It did exist, Lena replied. That is the point. Dana's radio crackled. Corporate security and independent inspectors are en route. The seatback screens refreshed. Green aircraft icons turned gray, one by one. Thomas stepped closer. Ms. Carter, the order names Altura's controlling authority. Are you authorized to ground the network? I authorized a hold. Aircraft already airborne continue under command. Nothing else departs until the records are secured. Gavin's face lost color. You can't freeze 200 flights over one cabin dispute. Lena slid Nia's ticket into the logbook. This stopped being a cabin dispute when the same defect appeared 12 times and the same executive string closed every report. Ellie looked at Gavin. You knew? I knew local resolution was approved. By whom? He said nothing. Outside, brakes hissed. 2 dark vehicles stopped below the jet bridge. People in plain coats emerged carrying sealed cases. Helen spoke again. The safety committee is assembled. They need you on a secure line. Lena rose, but Dana lifted a hand. You are still part of an active incident. Then escort me forward. Preserve the scene. Keep the crew separated. Dana studied her, then lowered her hand. As Lena passed, Brooke whispered, I didn't know who you were. Lena stopped beside the cart. You knew I was a passenger. At the aircraft door, Helen's voice sharpened. Victor is calling every board member. He says someone has hijacked operations. Below them, the inspector looked up. Chairwoman Hart, we're ready. Chairwoman Hart, we're ready. Gavin's hand dropped from the doorframe. Brooke did not move. The cabin stayed quiet. Silence had become testimony. Amelia Grant, 47, led the inspection team in a rain-darkened coat. She carried numbered seals. I need your authorization recorded. Lena held out her phone. Preserve this aircraft, crew devices, gate records, maintenance logs, and every message linked to VH-27. Amelia nodded. Begin chain of custody. Gavin stepped forward. There's been a misunderstanding. No, Jonah said. There's been a recording. Brooke stared at Lena's credential on Amelia's tablet. You own Altura? I control the holding company. You boarded under another name. I boarded with a valid ticket. You were testing us. I was observing a flight. The broken latch clicked behind Brooke. Amelia sealed the metal plate. Recovered where? Row 3 aisle, after the cart rolled free. Witnesses? Jonah raised his hand. Ellie did the same. Other passengers watched their laps. Gavin pointed at Lena. She entered a restricted area. Amelia turned to Ellie. Before the cart moved? No. Did she release it? No. Was the defect reported? At 6:42 a.m., Gavin deleted it after landing. The entry was incomplete, he said. Ellie unlocked her phone. The photograph, timestamp, and unit number are here. Consent to forensic copying? Ellie held the case 1 second longer. Yes. Brooke's voice thinned. I told her to use a service belt. That belt is not approved, Thomas said. You said the release was local, Gavin snapped. I said the system showed local resolution. I never saw who closed it. Rain drummed on the fuselage. Lena took her father's logbook from Brooke's stack. That was retained as evidence, Gavin said. It is private property. Amelia held out a seal. We'll photograph the relevant page. Lena opened to the equipment number. Nia's keynote ticket slipped onto the floor. Brooke bent, then stopped. Lena picked it up. Brooke saw the printed time. You missed that because of this? I missed it because your version became more important than the truth. Brooke lowered her voice. I'm sorry. That belongs in your statement, not in mine. An inspector entered. Corporate counsel requests private access to Ms. Hart. Denied. Separate the witnesses first. Gavin laughed without humor. You're treating us like criminals. I'm treating records like records. Amelia extended her hand. Brooke surrendered her phone. Ellie had already done so. Gavin kept one hand in his pocket. Mr. Reed? My device contains privileged communication. Privilege can be reviewed later. A new alert lit every screen. Network hold confirmed. 214 departures. Gavin finally removed the phone. At the foot of the jet bridge, Helen Ward waited beside 2 board members. Victor says this will cost millions each hour. Lena looked back at the sealed latch and the bare place on Brooke's uniform. Then let the first honest number be expensive. Amelia's deputy raised Gavin's phone. A message arrived 7 minutes before boarding. From whom? Helen asked. He turned the screen toward Lena. Victor Holden. Close G-14 locally. No delay. No paper trail. Victor Holden's message remained on the deputy's screen. Close G-14 locally. No delay. No paper trail. Helen read it once. Copy the device before he can wipe anything. Amelia nodded. Airplane mode. Evidence seal. Gavin's mouth opened, then closed. Brooke gripped the galley counter. Lena faced him. How many times did he send instructions like that? I don't know. You answered in 7 minutes. I was keeping the flight moving. That was not my question. At 9:06 p.m., the investigation moved to a secure room. The air smelled of toner and burnt coffee. Rachel Song, 38, a digital auditor, connected Gavin's phone to an isolated terminal. I found 23 deleted threads, she said. Same sender, same wording. Show us, Helen said. Rachel opened a crew duty spreadsheet. Brooke's rest had changed from 4.1 hours to 10.0. Ellie's from 5.3 to 10.0. Gavin's from 6.8 to 10.0. Lena stepped closer. Filter manual edits. Hundreds of cells turned yellow. Every altered rest period ended at the same number, 10.0. That isn't rounding, Rachel said. No, it's camouflage. Brooke stared at her row. I never had 10 hours. Who told you not to report fatigue? Amelia asked. Gavin said scheduling would flag me. That came from operations, Gavin said. From Victor. He never said it directly. Rachel opened an audio file. Victor's voice filled the room. Stop feeding the system reasons to delay us. Fix the entries. Resolve locally. We reward people who protect the schedule. Brooke sat down hard. The chair rolled into the wall. I thought everyone did it, she whispered. Ellie turned toward her. You called me weak for reporting. Brooke could not answer. Rachel moved to deferred defects. 12 G-14 reports had vanished, with 17 panel warnings, 9 restraint checks, and 6 galley power faults. Amelia's pen stopped. Were aircraft dispatched with unresolved items? 42. Helen looked at Lena. The hold stays. It expands. Nothing returns until independent teams clear every deleted item. A legal advisor shifted. That could take days. Lena folded Nia's ticket inside the logbook. Then it takes days. Rachel opened the bonus file. Victor's award rose whenever on-time departures crossed 90%. A note read, exclude locally resolved interruptions from safety impact calculations. Helen's jaw tightened. He turned missing reports into income. Gavin stared at the floor. He said delays would cost jobs. Brooke looked at Ellie. And I made you afraid to tell the truth. Ellie kept her eyes on the screen. You made me photograph everything. At 10:14 p.m., Rachel found the server rule. Any report tagged VH-27 vanished from the safety committee after 24 hours and was replaced by a clean summary. This was built, she said. Not improvised. Amelia sealed the printout. Who authorized it? Rachel traced the administrator's signature and turned the monitor. Victor Holden. Helen's phone rang. She put it on speaker. Victor's voice filled the room. Whatever Lena thinks she found, this is one exhausted employee and one angry passenger. End the spectacle. Lena reached for the phone. Victor, she said, we found the number 10. The number 10? Victor said. Rachel turned the monitor toward them. Yellow cells filled the crew rest sheet. Each employee was given exactly 10 hours, Lena said, even when badge scans proved otherwise. Victor laughed through the speaker. Data without context. Then provide it. Helen touched the console. 12 directors appeared on the wall screen. Victor joined from an office. This shutdown is reckless, he said. 214 flights, thousands stranded, because Lena traveled under a false name and provoked a confrontation. Lena placed the sealed latch on the table. Did I provoke this? A minor defect. Rachel opened Gavin's recovered message. Close G-14 locally. No delay. No paper trail. Victor's mouth tightened. Duplicate paperwork. Then why was the report deleted? Helen asked. Ask the purser. Gavin stood. His fingers missed the top button twice. You said my promotion depended on keeping delays off the record. I told you to use judgment. You sent that instruction 23 times. Victor looked into the camera. Be careful, Gavin. Amelia set Jonah's phone beside the evidence bag. The video played. The cart rolling. Lena catching it. Brooke's accusation. Then the slap cracking through the speakers. Several directors lowered their eyes. Victor said, her conduct is indefensible, but it has nothing to do with operations. Ellie stepped from the wall. It has everything to do with them. Her voice steadied. Reporting a defect made us difficult. Reporting fatigue made us unreliable. Asking for time made us expensive. So people stopped asking. Brooke removed her crew badge and placed it on the table. I struck a passenger, she said. No schedule moved my hand. But I had been awake almost 20 hours, and I believed one delay would end my career. I chose the easiest person to blame. The air unit clicked off. Lena met her eyes. Exhaustion explains what the system fed you. It does not erase what you chose. I know. Amelia passed out server logs bearing Victor's signature. Helen folded her copy. Motion to suspend Victor Holden pending investigation. A director cleared his throat. We must consider market impact. That was considered before every deleted report, Lena said. That is how we arrived here. Hands rose across the screen. Victor leaned closer. Lena, you are destroying what your father built. My father taught pilots to write down what frightened them. The count appeared, 11 in favor. Victor Holden is suspended immediately, Helen said. All access revoked. Rachel watched his account turn gray. Victor's image froze, then vanished. Gavin sat without fastening his collar. Brooke stared at the badge. Amelia gathered the statements. Regulators and labor investigators received the evidence tonight. Lena's phone vibrated. Nia, did you choose the company again? Lena typed, I chose the people inside it. She did not send it. Beyond the glass wall, departure boards remained gray. Passengers slept against bags while crews waited. Helen placed a blank policy page before Lena. What happens when the network starts again? Lena pushed it toward Ellie and Brooke. Not until the people punished for speaking help write the rules. Then start with the rule nobody can erase. Ellie pulled the blank page closer. Brooke kept her badge on the table between them. At 11:08 p.m., the boardroom lights buzzed above cold coffee and evidence bags. Lena stood at the window while Helen read the first draft aloud. Protected reporting channel, independent storage, automatic delivery to safety oversight. Gavin rubbed his wrists. Operation still needs a way to correct duplicate entries. Correct, Lena said. Not delete. Rachel typed the distinction into the document. Ellie leaned forward. Add a receipt for the employee. Time, unit number, and who opened it. And a copy outside the employee's chain of command, Brooke said quietly. Lena turned. Put it in. By dawn, a new line appeared at the top of every form. No manager may delete, delay, or alter this report. At 7:30 a.m., Martin Cole arrived. 50, broad-shouldered, with silver glasses and a habit of reading every page twice, he had spent 2 decades in aviation risk management. I'm told you need an interim operations chief, he said. I need someone willing to cancel a flight before a spreadsheet tells him it is expensive. Martin set down his coat. Then remove punctuality from the bonus formula. Remove it as a standalone target, Lena said. No reward can rise while fatigue reports or deferred defects increase. Martin nodded. And every deferred item gets outside review before release. Write it. Over the next 3 days, the hold lifted in sections. Inspectors cleared aircraft one by one. Some departures returned within hours. Others remained grounded, while crews replaced latches, rewired panels, and corrected records. Passengers shouted at counters. Reporters crowded terminals. Lena walked through the operations center without an escort. A dispatcher stopped her. My sister is stranded in Nairobi. I know. Do you? Lena looked at the wall of gray flight numbers. Not the way she does. The dispatcher's jaw loosened, but he did not apologize. In the training room, Brooke sat across from labor representatives and read her statement aloud. Her voice broke once at the sentence describing the silent passengers. Gavin resigned his supervisory post before the disciplinary panel met. Ellie accepted a temporary seat on the new safety council. I'm 24, she told Lena. Nobody will listen. They listened when you whispered on the aircraft. That was different. No, it was harder. A month later, Martin presented the restart report. Crew rest violations had dropped to 0. Every safety submission generated 3 encrypted copies. Bonus plans included fatigue, defect recurrence, and retaliation metrics. He slid the first printed form across the table. The new sentence sat above the signature box in bold type. Ellie touched it with one finger. "It can't be removed." Rachel turned her laptop around. "Not by me. Not by Martin. Not by Lena." Brooke, attending by video without a uniform, looked down. Lena folded the form once and placed it inside her father's logbook. Her phone buzzed. "Nia, 6 months from today. Same hall. I'm speaking again." Lena opened her calendar, blocked the entire day, and sent the confirmation before any meeting could claim it. 6 months later, Lena arrived at the conference hall 40 minutes early. She carried no board folder, only Marcus Hart's cracked logbook. In the front row, Naya had placed a program on one chair and left the seat beside it empty. "You came?" Nia said. "I said I would." "You said that before." Lena accepted the words. She opened the logbook and showed her daughter the new safety form folded behind the old flight entries. Across its top were the words no manager could remove. No manager may delete, delay, or alter this report. Nia touched the page. Grandpa would have underlined it. He would have asked who could still get around it. The doors opened. Employees, investigators, and families entered from the rain. Lena handed her the book. "It belongs with the person who kept asking." Nia held it against her chest. The empty chair between them remained for Marcus. 3 weeks earlier, the independent review had been released without redactions. 42 aircraft required corrective work. Hundreds of duty records were restored. Every deferred defect now went to an outside safety team, and employees received encrypted receipts when they filed reports. Martin Cole remained interim operations chief until the new Oversight Council completed its first year. Ellie Morgan represented cabin crews. At her first meeting, a vice president called a fatigue report inconvenient. "It is supposed to interrupt us," she said. No one asked her to lower her voice. Thomas Kell became a regional gate safety manager. Jonah Price gave investigators the original recording, then declined interviews that tried to make him the hero. "I pressed one button," he told Lena. Ellie risked her job. Brooke Vale lost hers. The review said exhaustion did not excuse her conduct. She entered a year-long workplace conduct program and later trained service employees through an independent center. Her letter reached Lena without asking for forgiveness. "I kept thinking I needed to know who you were before I treated you carefully. I was wrong before I raised my hand." Lena folded it inside the old Keynote program. Gavin Reed resigned his supervisory position and later left the airline after the panel confirmed he had deleted reports and pressured junior staff. Victor Holden was dismissed for cause. Regulators reviewed the altered records, and his compensation remained frozen. Lena never commented on either man publicly. At the conference, Nia stepped onto the stage and began with a photograph of the broken G-14 latch. "Safety failures rarely begin with machinery," she said. "They begin when a person learns that speaking costs more than silence." Lena sat in the front row. Her phone was off. Afterward, mother and daughter crossed the glass lobby as sunlight spread across the floor. Near the exit, Ellie waited with Brooke, who wore no uniform. Brooke stopped several feet away. "I wanted to say it once without a statement in front of me." Lena waited. "I am sorry." "I heard you." Brooke glanced at the logbook in Nia's hands. "Is that enough?" "No," Lena said, "but it is honest." Outside, rain had left the pavement shining. Nia opened the logbook to its final page. Beneath Marcus's faded handwriting, Lena had added one sentence: "A warning is not a delay." Nia closed the cover. Above them, an aircraft crossed the clearing sky, steady and unhurried. Have you ever watched someone's warning get ignored because speaking up was inconvenient? Share what happened in the comments, especially if one quiet decision changed how people were treated afterward. Send this story to someone who believes dignity should never depend on a title, a uniform, or the power others think you have. Stories like Lena's matter because justice is not only a consequence for one person. Sometimes it is a rule rewritten so the next person is finally heard. Subscribe for more stories about justice, quiet resilience, and people who turn painful moments into lasting change. And when you see someone standing alone against a system that wants silence, remember that witnessing is not the same as speaking. Sometimes one honest voice is where the change begins.